Months after fans thought they had gone their separate ways for good, Yu and Tian Xuning shocked the entire entertainment world with a reunion no one saw coming. It happened live, under the bright stage lights, where their chemistry once again proved to be undeniable. The crowd went silent at first, almost unable to believe what they were seeing, before erupting into cheers that shook the venue. Cameras flashed, fans screamed, and social media exploded in seconds. Yu and Tian Xuning were back together on stage. It wasn't just another performance. It was a moment filled with emotion, history, and something deeper that words couldn't quite capture. Their eyes met as the music began, and suddenly, it felt like time had rewound to the days when their partnership was unbreakable, both professionally and emotionally. Every move they made on stage told a story of two people who had once shared something special, lost it, and somehow found their way back. For years, their fans had begged for this moment. Petitions were written, hashtags trended, and fan edits of their past performances kept circulating online. But after their quiet fallout and the silence that followed, few believed they would ever share the same stage again. Yet here they were, older, wiser, and more connected than ever. The performance began softly, with Yu stepping forward first, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Then Tian Xuning joined in, his tone perfectly blending with hers, just like old times. It was as if they never stopped performing together. The audience could feel every ounce of sincerity in their expressions. Their glances spoke of forgiveness, of growth, and perhaps of something that never truly ended. Halfway through the performance, when their hands brushed briefly during the choreography, the crowd erupted again. It wasn't just the fans, even the other artists backstage were caught watching the monitors, mesmerized by what was happening live. You could feel the nostalgia, the connection, and the bittersweet magic of two people finding harmony again. After the show, the internet went into a frenzy. "Are they back together?" flooded every comment section. The reunion clip hit millions of views within hours, trending across multiple platforms. Fans worldwide started posting their reactions, some crying, some screaming, and others simply stunned into silence. One fan tweeted, "I waited years for this moment. Yu and Tian Xuning just healed my heart." But what made the moment even more special was what happened after the show. Backstage footage caught them sharing a quiet hug, long, sincere, and full of emotion. It wasn't staged. It wasn't for cameras. It was real. For those who had followed their journey from the beginning, that simple embrace said more than any public statement ever could. Later, when reporters asked Tian Xuning about the reunion, he smiled and said, "Sometimes, good things take time. I'm just glad we could stand together again." Yu, on her part, simply replied, "It felt right." Those few words were enough to send fans into another wave of excitement and speculation. Behind the scenes, sources close to both artists revealed that the reunion had been quietly planned for months. The idea came from a producer who believed their chemistry was too powerful to stay buried. But it wasn't easy. There were hesitations, emotional walls, and memories that needed to be faced before they could make it happen. In the end, it was Yu who made the first move, agreeing to meet and talk things through. That meeting, as insiders say, lasted for hours and ended with a simple promise to perform together once more, not for publicity, but for closure. And yet, watching them on stage, it didn't feel like closure at all. It felt like a beginning, a rebirth of something honest, emotional, and pure. The way Tian Xuning looked at Yu between verses, the way she smiled at him after their final bow, it all hinted at something more than just nostalgia. Fans believed they saw love, understanding, and mutual respect rekindled right in front of them. As the days passed, the performance continued trending online. Reaction videos filled YouTube, fans dissected every moment, and news outlets called it the most talked about reunion of the year. Even industry veterans praised their ability to bring real emotion to the stage. "That wasn't just a duet," one critic wrote. "That was storytelling in its purest form." Yu later posted a photo from the night, just a simple shot of the stage lights, captioned, "Sometimes, what's meant to be finds its way back." Within minutes, her comment section flooded with love. Tian Xuning liked the post without saying a word, and fans noticed instantly. The internet buzzed again, reigniting hope that maybe this reunion wasn't just for the stage. whether they planned to continue performing together or not. One thing was clear, the magic between Yu and Tian Xuning was still alive. Time had tested it, distance had challenged it, but the connection they shared refused to fade. And as fans around the world replayed that moment again and again, one truth became undeniable. This reunion wasn't just about music. It was about two hearts finding their rhythm again, live in front of millions. The days following Yu and Tian Xuning's reunion felt like a dream that no one wanted to wake up from. Every news outlet, entertainment blog, and fan page was flooded with clips of their onstage performance. The video had already surpassed 100 million views within a week, making it one of the most watched reunions in Asian entertainment history. But behind the glamour and the headlines, a much deeper story was unfolding quietly between them. Yu hadn't expected the moment to feel so emotional. When she first agreed to perform with Tian Xuning again, she told herself it was just a professional decision, closure, as she called it. But the second she stepped onto that stage and saw him standing there under the lights, everything she thought she had buried came rushing back. The way he smiled at her, that familiar gentleness in his eyes, it reminded her of every reason she once trusted him completely. For Tian Xuning, the moment was equally overwhelming. Seeing Yu again wasn't just a performance, it was a flood of memories, of laughter, of long nights rehearsing, of the quiet bond they had built years ago before things fell apart. He had spent years convincing himself that time had dulled the emotions between them. But that night, as he sang beside her, he realized that time hadn't erased anything. It had only deepened what they once shared. After the show ended, their management teams wanted them to appear together for a brief interview. At first, it was meant to be lighthearted, a thank you to the fans. But when the cameras started rolling, the emotions were hard to hide. Yu, her voice calm but slightly trembling, said, "I didn't know how it would feel to sing beside him again." But once the music started, it felt right. Tian Xuning glanced at her and nodded, adding, "We've both grown, we've both changed, but the connection was still there. Maybe it never really left." Fans online lost control after that interview. Within minutes, #Yu and Tian Xuning topped trending charts worldwide. Comment sections were filled with messages like, "They're meant to be," and "This chemistry is too real to be acting." Even celebrities chimed in, calling their reunion the purest form of artistry and emotion. Yet, amid all the noise, the two stars decided to keep things quiet. They didn't post together, didn't make public appearances, and didn't confirm any rumors. But people who worked close to them began noticing small hints, the way Tian Xuning would visit Yu's studio unannounced, or how Yu's assistant was spotted picking up coffee for two. Weeks later, an unexpected announcement came. Yu and Tian Xuning would release a new duet together. It was the first time in years they had recorded a song side by side. The track, titled "Return to You," was described as a ballad about rediscovering lost love and forgiveness. The day it was released, it broke records across platforms, instantly topping charts and streaming lists. The music video added fuel to the fire. Shot in black and white, it showed the two of them walking through different paths, only to meet in the middle under the same light. Their emotions were raw, their expressions full of unspoken meaning. When the final scene showed them smiling softly at each other, fans around the world were in tears. Behind the scenes, the chemistry was just as real. Crew members later shared how natural they were together, finishing each other's sentences, laughing between takes, and sharing quiet looks that spoke volumes. One staff member revealed there were moments when the camera wasn't rolling, but they still held that same energy. It didn't feel like acting. As their duet topped international charts, they were invited to perform it live at a prestigious awards ceremony. The world waited eagerly for that moment. When they finally stepped on stage again, hand in hand, it was clear that something had shifted. They looked at each other differently now, not with uncertainty, but with peace. The performance was breathtaking. When the final note faded, Tian Xuning turned towards Yu and said softly into the microphone, "Thank you for coming back." The audience gasped, and Yu smiled, replying just loud enough for the mic to catch, "I never really left." That short exchange broke the internet. Fans declared it the real-life confession they'd been waiting for. Comment sections filled with tears and heart emojis, while media outlets began speculating that the two had officially rekindled their relationship. but neither confirmed it. Instead, they both simply disappeared from public appearances for a while, choosing privacy over publicity. During that quiet period, they spent more time together, away from cameras, away from noise. They were seen walking by the river, having dinner at quiet cafes, and even attending a friend's wedding together. Though they didn't try to hide, they didn't flaunt it either. It was simple, genuine, and real, just two people finding their way back to each other after years of distance. Then, one evening, Ziyu posted a short clip on her social media. It showed her standing on a dimly lit stage, humming softly as Tian Xuning played the piano beside her. There was no caption, no hashtags, just that moment. Within minutes, the video went viral again. Fans around the world flooded the comments. They're truly back. This is what love looks like. Their story became more than entertainment. It became a symbol of healing and second chances, proof that sometimes love doesn't end. It just takes time to return stronger. By the time the next awards season arrived, they were invited together as presenters. When they walked the red carpet side by side, holding hands, the crowd roared. Reporters shouted questions, cameras flashed nonstop, but they didn't need to say anything. Their smiles said it all. Tian Xuning later shared in a rare interview, "Some stories don't need an ending. They just need another beginning." Ziyu, sitting beside him, nodded and said, "And this time, we're writing it together." That line became iconic. Fans around the world quoted it endlessly, calling their story the modern fairy tale that came true. From heartbreak to reunion, from silence to song, Ziyu and Tian Xuning had done what many thought was impossible. They didn't just return to the stage. They returned to each other. This is K-Drama Cycle, bringing you the story that proves love doesn't fade. It waits, it grows, and when the time is right, it finds its way back home.